Well, very good morning. It's 8:15 on a nice, cold, still, frosty morning, and I am at Bridge of Orchy. That chugging you can hear, actually you can hear two things. There's the River Orchy down there, and also you can hear the chugging of the train. The Caledonian Sleeper has just come in, all the way up from London. I love the idea that you can just go to sleep, wake up in the mountains. Such a contrast. Not that I wouldn't be able to sleep on a train, but anyway, exciting nonetheless. Happily for the rest of us, for most of us, we stay up here anyway, so we can be up in just a couple of hours. Because we're starting early, before sunrise, and getting that lovely light over there, over the Black Mount. This is fast becoming a new habit, or a habit revisited, of actually getting up early and walking at 8 o'clock. I made a hint to that in one of the past blogs, saying that I never used to do that. I mean, I used to get up, set the alarm at 5, and then be out the door by 6. 2 hours to wherever you were trying to get to, and then walking by 8. I did that every week, week in, week out. And I've just got out the habit of it recently, I suppose. I don't tend to drive as far. I think the secret, something I've got out of, something I've forgotten, is when the alarm goes off, don't snooze it. Don't even groan at being woken up so early. Just fling the duvet off and get out, and then it's done. Then you're committed. The longer you stay, for every minute you stay in bed, that element of doubt, for me anyway, it's like, oh, maybe just another hour, maybe just another hour. And then invariably you're going to be stuck behind traffic crawling along the road. And just getting up that extra hour earlier makes all the difference, in my opinion. It's so worth it. Now, just starting to get, isn't it lovely? The first rays of the morning sun starting to catch the tops of the hills. Just the very tops at the moment. It's a lovely time of day. Colours. It's at its peak now, I'd say. Not the pinkest, nevertheless, nice. This is a west-facing slope, so I'm not going to get the sun. Not for a while, actually, not until crest over that rise. It occurs to me, I haven't even said where I'm going, and I'm halfway up the bloody thing. From this point I could be going up either of two hills. Once you get to the top of this pass, you can go left or you can go right. Left goes to Beinn Dorain, and right goes up to Beinn Dorain. And that's the one I'm doing. Beinn Dorain from this aspect, and from Bridge of Orchy, there's no resemblance whatsoever to the hill that you see when you're driving north out of Tyndrum and you climb up to that high pass that goes alongside the West Highland Way out of Stirling and into Argyll, and then it looms there like looks like a volcano, big cone, big grassy cone with a craggy grey top. Very prominent, easily one of the most impressive and probably well-loved views of the drive north. I do have slight apprehension about coming up here, just because after the cold spell, which ended few days ago. Went very wet, very wet, very, very, very wet. And then it's all refrozen. So good on one hand, because snow is consolidated. But it does mean that now it's gone cold again. It's all kind of compacted, and it does mean that this route up, all this snow, it's not going to be soft, which isn't a problem because I've got my crampons with me, and that's fine. It's just that when it's patchy like this, it makes passage difficult. You either keep your crampons off and you weave your way between the snow patches, or you do the opposite and you keep your crampons on and try to stay on the snow. It's difficult, it's a difficult toss-up sometimes. I hate the faff of putting crampons on and off because they are quite fiddly things to put on and off. The other reason for heading up early is it was forecast to be very calm after a windy night. It's going to be calm in the morning before picking up again. But I always got a sneaking suspicion that it's going to be windier than forecast and come and get windier earlier than forecast, which often seems to be the case. So that is the incentive for having an early start. It's a magnificent setting. Oh, the snow's a nightmare. It's not quite fully consolidated. It's a wonderful setting in this bowl corrie as you climb higher. It's just a shame it's not in the sun. It's cold. Yeah, I do like it in here. It's quite unusual for most hills in this part of the world, where it feels weird to be going up into a corrie as the bulk of your ascent being done in a corrie. I think most hills, I might be wrong, but it just seems to me that most walks, they go up to the head of glens or into the lower parts, the lower reaches of corries, but then tend to swing up onto the ridges quite quickly as early as possible, whereas this one always feels quite unusual because it's so enclosed on both sides, and you do sort of just come up. It's like this big amphitheatre that you're climbing up in, so it feels very different to most approaches to hills, I think. I like it for that reason, although it does make it dark, like I say, in winter. And the sad thing about this hill is just how eroded the path is. It's one of the worst eroded that I can think of. It's not a very pleasant ascent. Trying to pick your way up through hags and chasms eroded through the peat squelchiness. It is very eroded. It's a shame, but that's something that we all play our part in and we're all responsible for. But I think that doesn't mean to say you shouldn't go walking up hills, but there are things you can do. I think it pays to be aware of the impact that you have, and try not to widen paths. Last Saturday I was up, well, it's not that day on Benvironment that was going to be one of those days in 100 the other week. There was another day in 100 coming along in quick succession, which is fine if you're concerned about how that works out for averages. It just means you can only really have 3 or 4 per year if you're being really anal about it. So maybe I'll get one more this season. Anyway, it was going to be another one of those days when the whole of Scotland was going to be heading to the hills, and there'd been a couple of feet of snow up here in Glencoe, and then there's that decision again, where do you go? Where do you make best use of the snow that's there? And I was going to get up early and go to Glencoe up that way, But the roads being what they were, I couldn't face it. And as it happened, I don't know if you saw the news, the massive queues of 6 Mile Tailback over Rannoch Moor, because the ski centre car park filled up, and then people do that thing where it doesn't matter if you're inconveniencing other people, you know, I am going to park here. It's the same at work, where you get people at the farm in the country park parking in front of fences where it says access needed 24 hours, and people still park there and think, oh, it's just 20 minutes. But that could be the 20 minutes that we need to go in, or take a big tractor or a logging truck in. Very inconvenient. People just live for themselves. Anyway, people parking on the road in laybys. 6 Mile Tailback. So in the end, I made the decision that it would have been nice to have, again, I could go with a couple of people somewhere, be social, because you knew there was going to be a lot of snow and you're going to have to break trail, and it helps to have people, like I said, the last one, to rotate. But I just wanted, you know, as much as it would be nice to have trail broken for you, I also just wanted to get away from everybody else and have unbroken snow all to myself. Which is what most people want, surely, I'd have thought, but then, you know, maybe it's just me. Yeah, so I decided I was going to go where most people weren't. So I stayed local. One of the good things about when you get a really good dump of snow, you're sort of in the lowlands, in the central belt in Perthshire, lowland Perthshire, Crieff, Comrie, that kind of area, is that you can get to go and sample some of the smaller hills that, but under sort of the conditions that Munros are more likely to get. So that's what I did. I went to a hill that was barely more than 600 metres, called Benvironment, just near St Fillan's. Tiny little thing, but it's, if anyone's driven down that road through Crieff and Comrie, you'll be familiar with it. It's like a big point. When you go through St Fillan's heading west, it's up on your left, very sort of defined sort of arrowhead hill. So I went up that, really steep, really tough, and then needed my ice axe for the first time this season, and it's only 600 metres high. Loads of deer, and thank God there were deer actually, lots of deer and stags sort of heading up all the way, almost all the way to the summit. And in the end they did kind of break trail for me, which was handy. But that was an amazing day. Really cold at the top, but you know, when you came, the west facing slopes were loaded because it had been, the east facing slopes were loaded because it had the winds from the west. So getting out the wind, in the sun, in the snow, oh, it's just perfection. Really memorable day on a small hill, one that you don't normally see under those conditions. Right, now we have emerged. It's opening up a bit, certainly much more white. Beinn Dorain's up that way. Lovely how the sun is now coming and striking that part. I don't recall this being here. I don't remember it opening up this much. But we're just going up to the top here, and then up the ridge. It's a nice, easy ascent actually. Once you get up to the top, the bulk of the ascent's out the way. And for both sides, actually, it's quite easy to get up to the tops of either of them. And they both climb together usually. I mean, I'm only doing that one today, I think. See how it is once you get up the top. If I feel I'm going to come back down, maybe head up. But at the moment, just Beinn Dorain. It's a shame I didn't actually film that one last week, because it would have made a good promotion of smaller hills. But it is a lot of faffing doing videos, so sometimes it's nice to not be stopping and starting all the time, and just get your head down, get both hands on the poles, and just get a full free-flowing hill day. Don't get me wrong, I love doing this, but I'd go spare if I did it all the time. I think I do have to just have some days to myself sometimes. It's nice to be back though. Actually, this isn't my first vlog from here. I don't know if anyone's sat through all of them. I know some people say they have. Fair play to you if you've done that. But I think it was the third one I ever did, maybe second or third one. Went up both of these hills. filmed it on a Samsung Ace. The quality was appalling. I had a quick look at it this morning. Rubbish. Really bad.
Yeah, what's up the other side?
Yeah, it's funny. When was that? End of 2012, maybe? Quite a long time ago.
I can either go left or right.
Yeah, so I came up this route actually and went up that one first. And I think I stood here and suggested bowl bagging, corrie bagging as a new bagging activity. Because I feel it again, because it is such a wonderful, magnificent bowl. You know, it makes you want to go and seek out other bowls, like the ones behind Beinn. Incredible places, dark places, cold places, but usually quite remote and hard to reach. I think that time I came down here, went up the ridge, but came down this bit. I seem to remember. Press on. The snow is that type that it's fairly well compacted, but it's just a bit of give still. So you commit yourself to it, and that's what really tires you out, isn't it? That when you've committed your weight and then it goes, oh, the energy expended on cushioning yourself from that drop of just a couple of inches, that's what really tires you out. I think I have an easier time of it than some people though. Not that heavy, just over 11 stone, so the snow tends not to give quite so easily as it does for some people I know who follow in my footsteps and just are swearing and cursing because I make it look easy because I'm lighter, flying through snow, walking on water, giving a false impression of the quality of the snow up ahead. Well, this is sublime. It's always a nice moment when you crest that rise and the view opens up. Isn't that beautiful? I always promise myself, and I remember doing it the last time I was here, because I say with the erosion down there it's not the nicest descent, and I promised myself that the next time I came up here I'd come up this way, which I've never done. You sort of park a bit further up the road, a bit further south, and then you cycle in, is it Glen? And you go under a big railway viaduct and cycle all the way in and come at it from this way. Thought that might have been a better approach. But it's one for when you've got slightly longer days, I suppose, not so much for today. It'd be nice to use a bike. Anyway, summit is this way. Sunshine! I was just beginning to start regretting my choice of hill, thinking that one would have been better. But it's fine. Now we're up high. Well, I have bowed to the inevitable and put the crampons on, because now we're up here and all the snow's been blown around a lot and has thawed and refrozen. It's got an icy crust, hard packed snow with a little bit of new snow on top, and the difference it makes in confidence underfoot and being confident that your feet aren't going to slip. It's not the steepest of ground, as you can see, not terribly steep, but it's enough. could give you a slip. So, better safe than sorry. I suppose the mistake a lot of people make, and I've been guilty of it myself in the past, is leaving it too long before you put them on. Really, as soon as you think, oh, it's getting icy, then that's the time. Not, oh, it's getting icy, I'll give it another 5 minutes. Soon is always better. Just saw, I thought there was a little object running towards me. I thought it was a little snowball being blown. You know how the snow blows snow downhill and it rolls a bit. I thought it was that, but it had blurry little legs. It's a little shrew. Can you imagine being up here? Little shrew living all the way up here. Incredibly hardy little things. I feel sorry for it, scurrying around, expending lots of energy searching for food. What a place. I mean, it's an incredible place, but I wouldn't want to be a small mammal trying to eke out an existence up here. This is the kind of stuff I really like, when you're starting to get only sort of a hint of rocks, when everything's getting so, the snow's getting so blown about, everything's getting covered. It just has that wonderful sort of smooth Mr. Whippy ice cream appearance to everything. Oh, it's lovely. What a day to be out. Today had to be the day to come. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Today had to be the day to come out because tomorrow, which is Saturday tomorrow, and we've been lucky in that some of the best days this winter have been coinciding with weekends. But today, Friday, it's beautiful, calm, clear conditions, cold, and tomorrow all goes downhill again. They're going to be above freezing at the summits for Saturday and Sunday. Very strong winds, gales, storms. So again, it's a case of get out while you can. It's just fortunate for me that I'm between contracts at the moment at work, and so I'm not twiddling my thumbs at home, but I'm not gainfully employed just now, so I can, luckily, head out on a Friday. I can't see, there's somebody else up on Beinn Dorain. Where is he? Is that somebody? There? Oh right, that's it. There you are, somebody heading up. Getting a sense of the scale. How much snow there still is up here today. Nice. I dare say they'll be coming up here afterwards. It does look nice over there, but we'll see what it's like when we get back down. Oh my, what a day. The visibility that way out north to Ben Nevis and across Rannoch Moor is unreal. Get a better look once you get up to the top. Still being fairly careful with what slopes I'm going onto. The avalanche forecast today was considerable just up there at Glencoe, because there's been new snow. Much of the pack has consolidated, but they said between north and south aspects there was a risk above 800 metres, so that's why I'm going to steer clear of all that kind of stuff. Inviting as it looks to walk over, and staying on this kind of stuff and keep giving that a wide berth. Not too far away now. I have to admit, I forgot how far up this is. It's not so much that it's a long way up, it's quite a long way, it's quite a long way that way once you get up here. But that's fine. I'm certainly not complaining about being up high today. Look! Oh my word. Oh my word. This is incredible. This is such a difference to last year. I mean, there was nothing this time last year. In fact, this very week, it was a week I was up on top of the Cairngorms, on the Cairngorm Plateau. Not a breath of wind, hardly any snow. It's a bit of a nice day. Watching the sun go down, and it was warm. Could have been there in a t-shirt. Crazy, no snow, but look at it this year. Look at that cornice. Oh, this is unreal. Oh, what a day to be alive. This is where you've got to be careful and give cornices a big wide berth. You just don't know how far out they're going, and there has been a lot of snow, and the thaws all winter have been fairly short-lived, which means that all of this is still up here, thankfully. Oh. Well, it doesn't end in the most spectacular fashion in a great big point or a massive cairn, but so far as views go, it's hard to beat it. It's amazing. And there are the clouds coming in and that, but I think this is one of the best views in this part of the Highlands, with just easily things I can see at the moment, all the way out in the distance over there on the horizon, if it will go in, is Ben Moor over on Mull, just under that cloud over there. All the way over to the left, they've kind of disappeared into the cloud now, but the Paps of Jura are over there. What else? Ben Nevis, of course, that big white one in the distance, the biggest of all, the Bennest of the Bens, and Bidjum nan Beinn over there, overlooking Glen Coe. All the Glen Etive hills are running down here, all the way up to Ben Staraf. Over there, standing pretty well isolated, a wonderful massif of Ben Cruachan, remarkable hill that one. But the real sort of, I think the good view is, not only gives you a view out the way to all the sort of the bigger hills to the north, there's pretty decent view down into Och, I think it's Och Glen, looking over to the Corbetts. Oh, there we go, it's clearing up a bit now. Got our visibility back. So, Ben Ur across there, big Corbett, and of course the main road heading south to Tyndrum, and the railway glistening down there on the left, the river in the middle, and somewhere down there the West Highland Way, of course, comes all the way up here and goes all the way that way. And of course these looking down here at the, I mean, you don't get a sense of these slopes really. I mean, it looks steep from here, but it's only when you view it from over there and you see that the sort of the cone shape with the steep flank heading down there, you don't realise how steep it is until you sort of see it from over there. But I mean, it looks steep enough just now, but yeah, steep. Right, well, challenge now is to find somewhere sufficiently sheltered, not that it's buffeting or anything, but just to get out of what little wind there is. There's not actually that much shelter around here. To find somewhere to sit down and have something to eat, have some tea and cake. Fed and watered, didn't hang up there long. You could get the sense that the weather's changing a bit. I think this cloud coming through over the tops is just a small sign of it, but certainly a lot of the other hills, Ben Louis over there, Ben Cruachan's disappeared, the summit, and even over there, Ben Starrow and Bridge of Orchy, and they're disappearing as well. I'm not expecting a rapid deterioration, but there was, and you can also see there's a cloud bubbling up all the way to the west, and that's where the next lot of weather's coming in from. So I think I've had the best part of the day, and that's what they said, the morning was going to be best. It's now 12:30, so I'm not going to do the other one. I've had a lovely time, so I'm quite content just to make that do. Actually, probably the one thing I will do is over there is actually a better viewpoint, although the light might not be great. But there's a little that prow over there gives a good view back the way. What about that? I think, to my mind, this is one of the best views of any hill anywhere in Scotland. It's just magnificent. But you have to come away off the summit of Beinn Dorain to find it. Oh, it's alpine, isn't it? It's also very, very cold. So I think I'll make that do and head back up and make my way down again. I wanted to show you this because it's epic. Wow. There's definitely lots of cloud coming in now. I think the views have gone from up there now. And that's us almost back at the Corrie, the ascent. Plunging into darkness again, sadly, after all this dazzling sunshine. Very nice. Glad I did that today. Getting up early. Well worth it, considering what the weekend's going to bring. And the good news is, it looks like it's going to get colder again next week after a couple of days of mildness. So none of this is really going to disappear anytime soon. So there's still plenty of winter left. Right, let's get down again.